They were inseparable as kids. She was the poor girl with big dreams. He was the loyal friend who promised never to leave her behind. But life had other plans. Years later, he's a powerful CEO. She's his biggest competitor. And when they cross paths again, it's not just business on the line. They're both unknowingly fighting for the same heart. A heart that could destroy one of them forever. The streets were cracked. The air smelled of dust and fried food. And the only thing louder than the dogs barking was the laughter of two kids who had nothing except each other. His name was Marcus, and hers Alina. They weren't just childhood friends. They were each other's world. She'd wait outside his door every morning with a half-broken notebook and a dream of becoming a fashion designer. He'd always tell her, "One day, I'll have an office big enough for both of us." They shared everything: meals, secrets, even silence. Her mother worked double shifts as a cleaner. His dad sold used parts at a junkyard. They grew up stitching dreams out of nothing. And in that tiny, forgotten neighborhood, they were the only thing keeping each other going. But everything changed the day Marcus left. His uncle, a businessman from the city, saw potential in him. A sharp mind wasted in a place like this. One conversation, one packed bag. No goodbye. Alina stood outside his empty house for days, waiting. He never came back. Years passed. She built her own way, starting from scraps, learning how to design clothes late at night after cleaning offices by day. He climbed the corporate ladder, fast and ruthless, erasing the boy he once was. And then, destiny did the unthinkable. They were both invited to the same business pitch. A high-stakes contract that could change everything. What Alina didn't know was that the man she would face in that meeting room wasn't just another competitor. It was Marcus. And this time, he wasn't coming to support her dreams. He was there to crush them. What would you do if the only person who once protected you returned? Not to lift you up, but to bring you down. Alina didn't recognize him. At first, the man sitting at the head of the table was sharp, polished, commanding the kind of presence that makes entire rooms go quiet. His name was listed on the pitch materials. Marcus Rivera, CEO of Rivera Global Textiles. She stared at it, numb. It couldn't be him. Not the boy who used to collect scraps with her. Not the one who promised they'd build a future together. But it was when their eyes finally met. His didn't flinch. No smile, no recognition. Just cold, professional distance. And that's when she realized he hadn't just changed. He had erased her from his story. The meeting was brutal. He presented with confidence, big numbers, international investors, cutting-edge automation. She came in with handmade designs, ethical practices, and stories of the women in her community who stitched every piece with pride. Her pitch was heartfelt, his was dominant, but the executives were torn. They loved her vision. They needed his scale. And before anyone could make a decision, one of the board members made a shocking suggestion. What if you joined forces? The room went silent. Alina froze. Work with Marcus. After all these years, after all that silence. He looked directly at her, not as a rival, not as a friend. Something colder. "We'll consider it," he said before she could speak. She walked out, her heart racing. Part of her wanted to scream. Another part just wanted answers. What happened to the boy who promised to never leave her side? The deal moved forward. Neither of them wanted it, but neither could afford to lose it. The contract was too valuable, the exposure too massive. So they agreed reluctantly to collaborate. But working together meant facing what neither had ever spoken about: the past. Alina tried to keep it professional. She kept meetings short, spoke only about the project, avoided eye contact. But Marcus ... he watched her. Always silent, always calculating. She could feel his gaze, not full of hate, but not full of warmth either. Something in between. Something unfinished. One night, while reviewing designs at her studio, she found a package on her desk. No name. Inside was a photograph, old, slightly faded. It was them, kids, sitting in the alley, smiling, dirt on their faces, a half-eaten sandwich. Between them, on the back, one sentence, handwritten in ink: "I never forgot." Her heart twisted. The next day, she confronted him. "You left without saying a word," she snapped. "Do you know what that did to me?" "I had no choice," he replied, quietly. "I was just a kid. I didn't know how to say goodbye. But you knew how to disappear." He said nothing, just stood there, as if carrying a weight he couldn't drop. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. Something in her had shifted. Not forgiveness, but doubt. Doubt about what really happened. Doubt about why he was truly back. Because part of her knew Marcus wasn't just chasing a contract. He was chasing something he had lost a long time ago. But was it redemption or revenge? The final pitch day arrived. They were standing side by side, but it felt like they were worlds apart. The presentation was flawless. Synergy, innovation, purpose. The clients were impressed, but the tension between Marcus and Elena was unbearable. After the meeting, before the results were announced, Marcus asked her to step outside. "I didn't come back to win this deal," he said, quietly. "I came back because I needed to see who you became. And if there was any part of the girl I left behind still inside you." Elena looked at him, heart pounding. "I became someone you didn't think I could be," she replied. "I survived. Without you, I built everything from zero. You don't get to come back and rewrite the story." "I'm not trying to rewrite it," he said. "I'm trying to understand how I let it end." A long silence. Then the phone rang. The contract was theirs. Together. But that moment didn't feel like victory. It felt like closure. In the final meeting with the board, Marcus turned down his share. "The future of this brand is hers," he said. "It always was." That night, Elena walked alone through the neighborhood where it all began. Same streets, same broken pavement. But she wasn't the same girl. She didn't win because he gave her anything. She won because she refused to lose herself. And maybe that's what hurt him the most. Asterisk. And you? Would you forgive someone who disappeared when you needed them most? Or would you walk away like Elena, stronger, wiser, and finally free? Tell us in the comments. Like this story if it moved you. Subscribe to the channel and don't miss our next story. It's even more emotional than this one.